your puppy Christmas cards this year, these are 5 tips to take a lot of that stress out of puppy Christmas card creation, especially if you are a multi-dog home from a professional photographer of a decade and a half. So let's break this down for you. If you are a multi-dog home, the best thing that you can do in most cases is to shoot separately and edit together. Meaning if you have more than one dog, it's going to be really hard to get them into position and looking at the camera and doing what you need without them interacting with each other, running towards you, or getting distracted while you're doing this. That can be a very stressful environment for you and your dog. So I highly recommend picking a background. So you're going to have like a solid wall or something that's going to make it easy for you to edit. And then you are going to put your camera on a tripod, so your phone or your camera, whatever camera source you're using, and keep it in the same place. Then make sure you're setting the dogs in the same locations on the same plane so things are in focus. You're going to put the first dog there, you're going to focus on them, you're going to take a handful of pictures, and then you're going to take that dog and remove them from the situation, leaving everything in place. You're going to bring that next dog back in, and you're either going to set them to the side of where that dog was, or you're going to be able to, if you're really good at editing, put them in the same place and then space them out later on. But if you're in front of a Christmas tree, even if you're in front of a wall, you're going to want to make sure you kind of know where those dogs were so that everything stays at the same angle and the same sizing without encroaching on each other's space. We're saving time and effort. So I have 3 dogs. If I were to put Lucy in the middle, she is my tallest dog, I would put Gemma over to one side and Ember over to the other side. I would not shoot them all in the same location because that's just extra work for me. So I want to know where Lucy's feet and body end so that I can put Gemma on one side and Ember on the other side, and I do not have to worry about having to do too much in Photoshop later on. Shoot separately so that you only have to focus on that one dog, and that one dog only has to focus on you, and then splice those things together inside of Photoshop. I've done tons of tutorials on how to do this. In fact, last Christmas, I did a 25 days of Christmas card ideas. You can check those out because I show you on screen how to edit those things, and that is very specifically one of the things that I taught you how to do last year. But also stay tuned because I have multiple videos on Christmas card ideas for dogs in short condensed times where I'm not showing you all the tips and tricks, but I'm giving you the content ideas coming up soon on the channel. So shoot separately and then edit together. Another really great tip is that you can use frames as decor. If you don't have a pretty background or if your Christmas tree is not set up yet, you can get the Christmas vibes by adding a frame to your card. So you can take that really nice photo and then use like a pine tree garland overlay or ribbons or presents or snowflakes or whatever. Frames can really level up and make it look and feel like a Christmas card. So using those frames to your benefit can really save a lot of stress. Now, I cannot stress this one enough. When it comes to your puppy Christmas cards, please retouch your dog's face. It is very easy to do. Like I said, I've got a full playlist from last year that you can check out on how to retouch your dog's face, but I also have a full playlist on documenting your dog through photos and videos, and I do a lot of Photoshop for beginner tutorials in there. So even if you've never touched Photoshop before, or you're using something like Canva or some of those other versions of Photoshop, you have the ability to retouch your dog's face. So you're going to go in and clean up any of the eye allergies. You're going to get any stray hairs. If they have like a whisker that very strongly stands out and kind of looks a little weird, you can fix that. If they've got something that is off about them, or if they just have some kind of like pieces of dog fur, if you've taken the pictures with them, you can just very easily retouch those because those will be very noticeable in your photos. Clean up their faces. If there's any little bit of drool, if there's, any dirt on them because they were playing outside, just clean it up just a little bit, very quick. It's very easy to do, and again, inside of those playlists, so you can see exactly how to do it even if you've never touched Photoshop before. Another really easy way to make sure that your dog is cooperative during this photo shoot is for you to be in the photos. I know that it can be very difficult to get your dog to sit and to focus and to pay attention without dropping things or moving things or looking off to the side or running away or getting excited about things. They're puppies, and unless they are extremely well trained, chances are even your pretty well-behaved or very well-behaved dog is not going to love having their Christmas photos taken. So an easy way to kind of mitigate some of those circumstances is to sit your little self down with your dog and take the picture. Because if you can put your dog next to you and you can hold on to them, where are they going? Who are they paying attention to? Are they going to give you little kisses on the cheek? Yes, but are they going to be bolting off know. So being in the photo can really help to calm them down and to keep them in place and doing what they need to do. Now, if you are going to be doing this, it can be helpful to have somebody taking those photos for you. Absolutely. But if you are a single dog parent, hello, we are doing this with the apps on our phones. So if you're using your phone or if you're using a camera, you can click it over so that you have the ability to use apps or clicker remote shutter releases to take those photos. So just the very high level version of this, I have tons of videos on how to do this here on this channel and over on my main channel, youtube.com/kmrobinson, where I on screen show you how to do this stuff. You can either like set a timer on your phone or on your camera and run back and forth, which I do not recommend under any circumstances, but you can if you have to. You can also register, interestingly enough, on your phone. You can register it to respond to voice commands, which is pretty cool. There are some phones that will respond to like hand actions. You can get a remote shutter release or a clicker for your phone or for your camera. And a lot of the camera companies, like the legit ones with the higher end cameras, have apps now. Canon has the Canon Connect app, which I use all of the time. And you have the ability to focus it. You can kind of change some things on screen. You can change different brightness levels and things like that from your phone. So you can sit down to take the photo and never have to go near the camera, and you can just click it to take it in the moment or click it on a 2-second delay, on a 10-second delay, so that you have that timer in there so you can kind of hide that so that you don't see the phone inside of your photos that you were going to be taking. So having a remote shutter release or some version of a remote trigger is going to be incredibly helpful for taking these photos so that it's less stressful on you. We're taking all the stress out of this, or at least as much as possible, so you can get really good photos without having to have all the professional training that I do and without having to stress about how you're going to get it. And when it comes to your dog Christmas cards, I want you to be thinking outside of the box. We know when it comes to Christmas cards, people will think Santa hats and reindeer antlers and the general types of things that we get for Christmas cards, but you can go above and beyond. You can go a little more high end, a little more refined. I personally love to see when a person puts on like dress clothes, big dress, big hair, makeup, all of this stuff, all of these beautiful like high end party looks that you can be wearing inside of your Christmas photos and leveling up your dogs too. So instead of doing bandanas, we're gonna have them really nicely groomed. We're gonna have them in something that looks really good, or just have them in like a great harness or a really great leash, or if you're just sitting with your dog, put it in a high-end location. So instead of sitting on your couch, go do like a fancy set of stairs somewhere in town. You've got a lot of options for this, but most people are going to go for like the Santa hats and the reindeer ears and the traditional Christmas card vibes. I personally would love for you to go high-end because of this reason. With your Christmas cards, you are sending them out to friends, family, all those things. They're going to be the Christmassy holiday vibes, but I want you to have a really good yearly photo of you and your dogs. And so I want you to be able to put it on a canvas on your wall in your house so that it looks stunning and you can use it year round. So do something a little bit higher end and then use that as your Christmas card, and you get 2 birds with 1 stone. You get to make more out of this than you traditionally would, but you also get those really beautiful Christmas cards. And if you go back to point 2, you can add that Christmas frame. So even if your photo is not Christmas, you still have the frame that you can pop on the card, and then you have the images that you can put on your wall for display. Now, bonus, when it comes to creating Christmas cards with your dogs, you probably want your dog to be looking at the camera. I've done multiple videos on how to get your dog to look at the camera. Very easy little tips and tricks from a professional photographer to get the shots that you need. I will link them in the description down below. Follow along for more. Like I said, I have multiple videos coming out on Christmas card ideas in the course of like 2 or 3 minutes. So you're gonna get a bunch of ideas for how you can be creating these Christmas cards, plus the full playlist from last year where I in-depth show you how to do the photo shoots, edit the photo shoots, create the cards, and get them out to your friends and family. 25 days from last year, plus tons of ideas coming this year. So follow along for more. Drop your favorite Christmas card dog ideas in the comments, and we'll see you in tomorrow's episode.